Welcome to Sociocast, a series of engaging conversations with professionals and industry experts decoding the multifold impact of COVID 19 on various fields in the society. Hello, listeners. Let's get started with our first podcast episode. I am the host, Nehal Talwar. For today's discussion, we have with us Ms. Aishwarya Ajmani, the founder of Happy Minds. Ma'am holds a master's in clinical psychology and is an internationally certified NLP practitioner. She founded Happy Minds with vision to provide preventive services, plan interventions to strengthen the mental well-being of individuals, and to provide counseling. She has dealt with 200 plus clients facing depression, stress, anger issues, grief, low self-confidence, and phobia so far. We are very pleased to have you today with us, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Neil. I'm glad to be here with Enactus, Hansraj, and it's amazing that you guys are holding this mental health initiative, which is right now much needed. So I'm happy to be here and sharing the same platform with you
Thanks a
guys.
lot, ma'am. Thanks a lot. The theme for today's episode is impact of COVID-19 on mental health. Fear, worry, and stress are normal responses at such times when we are facing uncertainty and unexpected situation like this pandemic. A lot issues including new realities of working from home, temporary unemployment, homeschooling of children, and lack of physical contact with other family members and friends have arisen among the population, causing serious mental health concerns. Let's address some of these issues. Starting with the questions. The constant fear of being diagnosed with COVID is horrifying and adds to stress, along with various false rumors spreading on the social media handles. How do you think one can cope up with this?
Well, understand two things here. The number one is that the fear thrives on uncertainty, and the panic happens when people overestimate a threat and underestimate their ability to deal with it. So, understand for people around the globe, the uncertainty surrounding the situation is very difficult and hard to handle, right? So, it's okay to react in a stressful, panic way. However, it's time that we start to respond to the situation responsibly so that we do not end up harming ourselves, right? So the first thing that you need to do is to limit your media exposure. You need not be updated with the news 24/7. Take out 30 minutes of your day to read the news and do not start your day with reading a newspaper, right? The second thing is that differentiate between the facts and the feelings of the situations. What are the assumptions that you're forming in your head about the situation, and what are the real facts about the situation? The third is to focus on the controllable and uncontrollable aspects of your life. Right now, what are the controllable things that you can really do? And if you keep focusing on the uncontrollable aspects, that would make you feel more anxious, fearful, and uncertain about the whole thing, right? And the last thing I would say, whenever you're feeling a little anxious and you feel out of control, just focus on the positive thoughts. Just focus on the things that you have right now, the things that are certain in your life. So just do that thought replacement technique. I think that would really work with it.
Very true. Ma'am, I think the concern was very well addressed by you and would surely make our listeners feel better. Moving on. Ma'am, following the previous question, it is seen that people are facing panic attacks, stress, and depression nowadays. How can one manage in absence of a professional help during such times?
All right. So if you are a person who have anxiety issue and panic issues, right? The first thing is if you're not already taking any therapy or medicines for that. First of all, when you're in a panic zone and you're feeling breathless, the thing that really helps you is box breathing, right? It's simply that first you have to just take the four counts of deep breath, hold it for 4 counts, exhale for 4 counts, and hold it for 4 counts again. That would really help you make yourself a little aware about what is happening around. Because when you're having a panic attack, you might also feel that you might die, or that extreme thoughts that you won't be able to survive through this. So the first thing that you have to indulge is box breathing. The second, what I felt and really works with my clients, is grounding technique, right? So simply you have to just you close your eyes and just observe what are the three things that you can really hear, right, in your environment. what are the three things that you can really sense and feel, right? And what are the three things that you really smell? Or if you can say, just open your eyes and you can see what are the three things that you can really see. That will help you just uh, get out of the negative thought zones that you're having. That will increase mindfulness along with that. That would increase self-awareness along with that. And that could actually help you calm yourself down, right? I think what is happening is if you're feeling stressed and you're tired, what is happening is even at home, we're not able to have personal time and personal space as family members around. There are a lot of people who are struggling with that. So I would just, suggest people to have this me time. Many platforms, I would say, that are providing mental health facilities. So if you're able to avail, I would say do avail if you feel out of control, right? The third and the fourth thing I would suggest while you're dealing with panic, stress, and anxiety would be focus on what is controllable aspect of your life and what is uncontrollable aspect.
Thanks for the insights, ma'am. I think that the point you raised for the controllable and uncontrollable factors is something that our listeners would definitely love hearing. Moving on. It is seen that along with emotional stress, people are facing financial stress nowadays, including long working hours, loss of savings in businesses, along with the problem of pay cuts and fear of losing one's job. How do you think one can create positive environment around themselves during such challenging times?
Okay, so I'm just going to share a very something that really, if you can really get and understand, is that your job is not you, right? Job is a part of your life, and if you equate yourself like, I'm Ishwara Ajmani and I'm a psychologist, that's it. And you would not be able to have a personal identity apart from your job, right? So understand in the whole domains of your life, whether it's personal, professional, spiritual, friend and family circle, a lot of domains that you have, job is just one domain, right? So it's important that you adjust your beliefs about your identity. That's something which is very important for us to do, right? The second is it's actually terrible, and it feels like this is never gonna end. There is just a crash in the economy, there's just a crash in our personal lives and a professional life, and it just jolts us to our inner core. However, it's important that we need to understand that it's happening worldwide, right? And people are actually struggling at every level possible. So you're not alone in that boat, right? Everybody is with you, everybody's sailing the same stream, right? So it's important that secondly, you understand that you're not alone at that. The third is that prepare yourself, brace yourself for adjusting to the new normal, right? If we expect that we can be our old selves in the new upcoming situation, that is just gonna create a lot of discrepancy. So you need to upgrade yourself so that you can really adapt to the new normal, right? So the old ways of working are really not going to help you, right? For example, especially in my field, our field was all about face-to-face sessions. But right now, the time is demanding to get online and work, right? So we had to adjust our thoughts and feelings and our plans according to that. So you have to find out ways so that you can adapt to the new normal. Okay? The third is to equip yourselves. Work if you feel that I might not get a job, I might lose a job, and there's this constant fear stuck in your mind. So probably work on self-improvement, work and understand the economy, what right now they need, what is something that you can change within you that would actually help you feel a little secure, right? So the fourth thing is that get out of the thinking zone and get on the action zone, right? If you constantly keep thinking about, okay, I might lose my job, I would not get money, I won't be able to support my family, etc., 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 and you're just not doing anything about it. You're just overthinking, and that would probably land you up in a zone where you feel so helpless, right? So it's important that we jump from thinking mode to action mode, right? If you're worried about anything about financial crisis, so work on your savings, plan your expenses. That's something that can really work, and that would also again count in the action zone, right? So that would really help you with controlling your anxiety. Another thing I would say would be trust your ability, trust yourself, right? That's something that is going to take you very long, right? Because if you do not trust yourself, your abilities, the way I'm sure that everyone who had their job were doing really amazing in whatever field they were. However, because of the changing times, there are n number of people who are losing their job, but that doesn't define that you were not good at that, right? So do not take professional loss as a personal loss or a loss that you're losing on confidence or what would people think if I'm losing my job, etc., etc. So it's a professional loss, but if you consider it as a personal loss, it's gonna be a tragic end, right? So trusting your abilities, believing that you can get out of it, constantly having these positive self-talk with yourself is really gonna help you survive this whole phase. The one more thing that I feel is to like right now, life is getting a little slow pace, right? But if you really want to run faster than that, that's again something that we're chasing the wrong goal, right? So it's okay to slow down. It's okay to not run in this rat race for a while. I think contemplate, self-introspect, take out time for yourself, plan, enhance, get or harness yourself with all the personal and professional resources, and probably for sure you would be able to get out of it. So again, it just depends on how faster you get from a thinking mode to action mode. And even if you feel you're not able to get on the action mode, I would say it's okay. It's okay to feel the pain. It's okay to feel the fear, but take one day at a time, and that mantra really is going to help you. Because right now, if you plan something long term, especially if you're planning some financial plannings, or you decided that you'll be buying a property in so and so in the year 2020, and it's not going to happen for you right now. So I would say don't go at macro level decision making, come down to micro level decision making. That's something which is very important, which is very core, right? So focus on the small decisions of your life, and like build your big decisions according to that. So that's something that don't decide anything long term for now, whether it's professional or personal. Take one day at a time, follow that mantra, and that would really help.
This was indeed motivating, ma'am. Now, moving on. It is seen that the current situation has made it difficult to keep up with physical activities like walking, running, gymming, etc. So, what are the ways that you suggest one can choose to stay mentally and physically active while even maintaining proper sleeping and dietary patterns?
Well, physical and mental health are interdependent, and hence it's important that we give them equal time and attention. So if you're struggling to get sound sleep, maintain a consistent sleep schedule, wake up at the same time and sleep at the same time. Give yourself approximately 1 hour to wind up before you're going to bed. Have a pre-sleeping routine, take warm bath, meditate, or have a quiet time with yourself. Log out from all the social media platforms, and don't keep your phone and laptops in the bed while you're sleeping. Use bed only for sleeping, meaning you don't eat on bed, you don't work on bed. Choose a dedicated workspace, have a table and chair where you can work. Right? Get out of your pajamas and get dressed in the morning. Dressing actually affects your mood. If you indulge into indoor gymming, workouts, stretches, yoga, and meditation, do not miss on your physical exercises. Make it fun for yourself. Do Zumba together online. With your friends. That's something that can really help. Do not start your day with reading newspaper or negative news. Start your day with some positivity. Go out and breathe. That's something that's really gonna help. Before sleeping, you can have your me time. That's your time of the day when you're actually doing something that you really love, right? So these are a few things that would help you maintain your physical and mental health for sure.
Thanks for the insights, ma'am. Moving on. Ma'am, there's nothing much to do nowadays apart from the tasks assigned under work from home. What do you suggest are the activities we can indulge into to keep ourselves engaged during these times?
Well, I do feel that doing things together and engaging in activities together is really helpful during the lockdown. However, I do feel that the need of the hour is to actually foster deeper bonds and deeper connections with your loved ones. In your day, like have that 15 minutes wherein you're actually engaging in meaningful conversation and quality conversation with your family, meaning that you really ask each other how you're doing, how you're feeling, how was your day like, exchange your fears, exchange those inhibitions that you have been having throughout this lockdown. And I think just simply pouring your heart out with your loved one is something which would really help you emotionally, that would actually help you survive the emotional turmoil that you might be feeling right now. Find the right person to pour your heart out. That's something which is very important. Talk to someone whom you really feel that who can understand you really well, and that 15 minutes would actually help you survive the 24 hours of your day. So definitely that would help you survive this period.
Indeed, ma'am. I think these times have actually deepened relationships and have also helped people to take on activities and hobbies that they never had time to do before. Now, moving on towards the end, ma'am, we have received a very special question. So, it is seen that isolation, loneliness, discomfort is harming many, especially the senior citizens. So, what do you suggest, like young people like me, can do to create a comfortable environment around our grandparents?
It's actually a nice question, and it's actually frightening for the senior citizens because they're the only lot who can really not step out of the house. Right? It's important that you sit with them, talk to them, and spend quality time with them, right? The second thing is that senior citizens do indulge in a lot of television watching, right? So monitor what they're actually watching. So if they're indulging into watching a lot of news, I think you can just sit with them and switch the channel to something positive, or you can watch a movie together that can make them laugh, right? The third thing, I feel that they're actually missing on their morning walks, and they're missing their friends, and senior citizens do enjoy the laughter club sessions and a lot of it, right? So it's important that if you could initiate a online morning call with their friends and have those online laughter club sessions which they might have been missing, I think that's a pretty good idea to cheer them up and evoke positive emotions.
Very well said. I think that our listeners could definitely work to create positive environment along with making the elderly feel spirited and mentally fit. Before ending this, let's remember none of you are alone and we are in this together. Thank you for valuable time, ma'am. It was pleasure interacting with you today. We had a great time and hope the listeners would definitely love hearing to your words of wisdom. If you like listening to us, do join us for the next episode. Till then, stay tuned for more. I'm Nehal Talwar, signing off as a Socialcast anchor.